Takeaways. It doesn't have to be perfect. Set clear goals and create a multi-year plan, as we did. Be willing to make sacrifices. Let's say your director will come to you and say, you know what, we're going to implement all the DEI suggestions you have made. But we got to lower your salary by 10%. Would you do it? Don't let yourself be distracted by temporary events or incidents. Every day something happens. At your job, someone might come and trying to get you riled up. You may say, hey, I ain't got time for this. I got achievement to make. Don't get distracted. You have to ask yourself, what can you do as an individual? What can you do collectively within the organization? I had really pretty slides and everything, but you have to switch it, and now it's straight to the point. The top management, because as an individual, only so far you can go, but the top management have to do their part as well. Acknowledge and educate about anti-black racism. Develop internal policies. Because we need policies. You cannot say, well, let's have a dinner together, some, diversity dinner. You bring some cooking, you bring some cooking. We good. No, we ain't good. Support internal DEI initiatives. Support external initiatives. A lot of us all have a colonial and slavery history where we're from, where we live. What is going on? What about Belgium? True change isn't about the checking boxes. It's not about the same outcome, rather equal treatment and equal opportunities. DEI is not a program of charity. You are not doing me a favor, doing your job. DEI is about human rights, preserving human rights. It's about making sure that your employees don't get sick, because racism makes people sick, exclusion makes people sick. Keep your eyes on the prize, no matter what happens. Don't come to me and say, well, I tried. If you have to leave, I will ask you this. Maybe there are 10 things, obstacles you are seeing at your job, and you think, I'm done, I got to go. Would you please make sure that before you leave, you bring the 10 to 9? Get rid of one for us. So the next one doesn't have to face 10, but have to face 9. And the person that the same, the next one have to face 8. That's how we bring it down. Invest as much in your DEI goals as in your organization goals. Because DEI should be like, it should be something like, if we don't do it, this company has no place to exist. That's the mindset we should have. Set a deadline with consequences if they are not met. That's a very important part of it. Now, we are leaving it to you. We are leaving it to you because our job is done. Those 3 things, goals we set out to do, we have achieved it. We had everything against us, but we have achieved it. Now we are asking you, protect our achievements, protect our success. But you gotta continue the fight. Because there were 1,000 things that needed to be done. We chose 3. We still got 900 and... So, what are you going to do to make sure that we get there? Now, I will take some questions, and I have a few words that I will read to close it off. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, so please, questions from the audience. And Natasha is walking around somewhere with a microphone.
Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, great. With all the negative backlash, how did you manage to stay positive and keep going? Because you also said you started with 30 people, and after a while there were only 3?
Yes.
Maybe we take 2 or 3 questions and we do it like that? Yeah, good.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering, Jerry, what was the moment that you thought, this is so hard, that might psychologically think it's better to stop, for example, but you did go on.
Okay, let's do now.
Yeah. For me, let me start with the last one. Not a single moment. Not a single moment. I think the questions are kind of like the same. I had no doubt, not a single moment. I always knew why we were doing it and who I was doing it for. Those children, you saw the picture, ain't they looking cute? Even though the boys lost to the girls, you know. But I can assure you,
What do you mean even though? Of course I am. Never mind.
this is a fight we had on, they kept winning from us. I would look at them, but it was a good lesson for us to learn. But you have to believe in it. I knew this is wrong, and I knew this wasn't always this wrong. So someone along the line changed it to this. So if you can change the channel to a different channel, I can change it back, or I can change it forward. So for me, from the very first day I spoke to the very first person on the streets, I was immediately sold that this is gonna work. And I was like the only one who felt like, because it took 5 years for us to have the first change. 5 years. But I always knew what we was doing it for these children, and the alternative was far worse. There was no alternative. What was the alternative? Except to be children growing up in this country and facing racism? That's not the alternative. So I think that we should see the urgency and the impact that this will leave on societies and bodies if we don't continue and finish the job.
There was another question there, right?
Thank you for your talk. I was wondering, you said set consequences if your goals aren't being met. What were the consequences that you connected to the 3 goals of Kick Out Zwarte Piet?
What were the consequences? If we haven't met, I would die. For me, there was no after 5th of December. So that's why I haven't seen my children growing up. You know, I haven't been able to be in their life. I don't have saving money. You know, me, all I got is what you see now, you know, and I'm more happy than people with everything because I knew what I was doing it for. I was willing to pay any price that needed to be paid so that there was no dilation and to make sure that we get the job done. So for me, you know, people would have asked me all those years, what if you didn't meet the deadline? I was like, we're going to meet it. Believe it. So yeah, I work harder. I found new ways. I'm a poet, so I'm very creative. That's my blessing. We done things we would have need with what we have done. Sometimes we set up a campaign for 5,000. When I know if the government would have done it, it would be 200,000. So yeah, there was no alternative. And I know in my son, you have to really believe in your shit.
Hello. Did you ever talk to Abu Talib again?
I talked to him, but I told him that what he has done to us, we will leave that to the lawyers. But I want to focus on how to make sure that Rotterdam will be Zwarte Piet free. So that I talked to him, but I didn't focus on the case, on the emotional side and the experiences. Because I felt like the damage was already done, and it's something that I wanted the court to sort it out. But I wanted to focus on getting the job done in Rotterdam. And that's how we made.
Did you heal the contact? Did you heal it? Did you heal the contact?
With
Abu Talib?
Nah. It was from there. It was business only. It was business only, and he knew it. He told me that he know that's racism and everything. But rather than me say, actually, little right, you know. So I think he was afraid, you know, to lose support in a right coalition. But I feel like that's not how we should do business. You know, humanity should always come first.
For a few more questions?
Bedankt, gratitude, thank you for all the hard work you've done. for us, our children and grandchildren. I've got a question. You went bottom up actually from the streets, trying to make a change. You've got some advice for people in leadership positions at the moment, trying to achieve change for the DIY subjects we're talking about today?
I think that, first of all, DEI initiatives should be independent, and they should get a budget that is independently from whether the company, with the company having no say in your activities. You know, the company should preserve a budget and leave you to it. And it's for you to invite people from outside to try to find out ways to make sure that initiatives work. But it cannot be that the DEI initiative have to go to the top to ask for permission. You know, sometimes you will have good ideas and they will say, nah, we don't think so. You know, and I think, you know, that DEI, you know, need more than white family solution. And what I mean with that is that a lot of DEI, you know, companies, they are happy if they have, you know, if they have a white male, you know, white child and white woman, then they say DEI for you, you know. And I'm like, no, it should be more than that, you know. And I think that is in a DEI position also. In a DEI, I think that white women should be more ally instead of taking the lead, you know, because your privilege can really take the wrong course. So for me, DEI is more, it's really calling on our moral obligation, and it's asking for more than. So if you have a DEI initiative and you have to ask permission, or you don't have budget, it only works for the company to save face. It's definitely not going to work.
One last question, if someone has one. Yep. Yes?
Okay. How would you think of the outcome of the municipality elections last week? And the rise of certain parties.
I'm trying to forget. Why you have to remind me?
One of the slides showed a very good line of more acceptance for an inclusive Sinterklaas feest. So it would suggest that a lot of people in the Netherlands are becoming more aware. But these election results, they show another development.
Oh, I'm not afraid of that. Everything that we have achieved will remain. Everything that we have achieved will remain, and for the simple fact that they said they didn't know it. Now you know. You know, everyone in the Netherlands knows that's what Peter's racism, or at least it hurts people. So for you to do it anyway, it shows who you are and where you stand. So I don't mind. I'd rather have people just show themselves for who they are. You know, I'm not going to fight people who pretend. You know, and I say you cannot wake people up who pretend to be asleep. You know, there were a lot of people who wanted, who didn't know, and we have reached those, and that's why we dissolve ourselves. We have reached anyone we have to reach. We have touched any heart that we have to touch, and we have speak to any people who have to speak. So now it's for the country to show its true color and where they stand. And as far as the election, I think that. We have proven ourselves to be not caring about human rights unless it's something that profits us, you know, because people are looking around the world and they are seeing genocide, they are seeing people being losing their human rights and humanity, and we are looking at it. And what happened is we are allowing people to attack vulnerable people in society, whether it's trans people or whether it's refugees. Yeah, I think that these type of conditions create toxic allies, and that's what we have seen with the election. People voted for toxic ally because they've been feeding into it, you know.
Your last words? Yeah.
Yes. This host don't play. To sum it up, you and I, we can make a difference. If it's too late for us, it's not too late for our children. If we fail our children, we fail ourselves and this beautiful country. Because without them, this country is incomplete. Without the stories of the migrant workers, without the struggles of those enslaved, without the experiences, intellect, and perseverance of so many who came from afar, this country will never be complete. That's why we must get to work now, with the government and municipalities leading the way. Not when our children are born and have a higher risk of dying. Not when they enter the classroom and face racism and lower expectations. Or when they apply for their dream job and the CV is not even open because of their skin color and last name. We are not asking for the same outcome. We are asking for the same beginning. We are asking for equality and fair opportunities. We are asking for systemic change. Make room for intersectionality. Make room for more people of color, more women, more genders, and a diversity of voices. Make room for Kwame, Mitchell, Jalisa, Maricela, Nadia, Said, and Seydor. Make room for the whole story and expand the table. Make room for action. Stop the delays. We want firm deadlines. Make room for discomfort and a whole lot of ongezelligheid. Make room for the person behind the civil servant or the person behind the director. Make room for a lot, but not for indifference. You are not neutral. No one is neutral. Your neutrality hurts people and perpetrates injustice. Maybe you are thinking, yeah, easy for you to say, you succeeded. But don't forget that almost no one believed in us. Even those who agreed with us, that's what to Peter's racism, couldn't imagine that we would succeed. Focus on your portion. Think of it as a house we are putting together. What part can you take on? Painting, carpentry, plastering, electrical work, excavation, design, investing. There must be something you can do. And the best part, you don't have to take on more than one task. That's all it takes to get this project off the ground. And the only thing we ask of you is that you finish it. Because if you take on something and see through to the end, I can guarantee you will inspire others. So, when you walk out the door later, ask yourself, which part of the building will you take on? The future is a new house, and we need you. Thank you.